Right now we're super busy, really. We just, you know, obviously the second record's just come out, so we're just about to embark on touring the world for a couple of years, and this is the very beginning of it all. But things have started really well for us this year, actually, and we're feeling pretty positive about the album and the reaction it's got worldwide. We've listened to a lot of music over the last couple of years, perhaps more than we have in the rest of our lives put together. Bought a lot of music and really appreciated different kinds of music. I personally really tested the limits of my musical taste and tried to listen to things that were perhaps out of my comfort zone, out of things that I would normally listen to. And part of that is a lot of electronic music, and then a lot of dance music, and then also stuff like I started to listen a lot to metal, like a genre of music I'd never listened to before, never even touched or explored. It was well out of my comfort zone. Thought that I would hate it, but then decided to really have a go at listening to it, and now I love it. I really, really do. Genuinely enjoy it.
Certainly met a lot of bands, and actually touring with other bands kind of teaches you about, not directly, but you learn different ways of doing things, and I think we learned bits and pieces certainly from touring with Kings of Leon. They'll teach you how to get stuff done. Those guys are really cool. They know, they just know, they've just grown into this position where they can now, they're basically one of the biggest bands in the world, and they're pretty comfortable being it.
London especially, where we all grew up and where we started the band, is really tough for new bands. There's an abundance of music in London. There's probably 9 or 10 gigs on every night, and people always come to the shows really sceptical, and it's almost like they don't want to enjoy it, and they want to shoot you down, and they stand there with crossed arms and wait for you to impress them. Whilst in America, we've found that people turn up to the shows out of curiosity, and they're really interested, and they're also really interested to meet you, which is nice. That's a big difference we noticed. That people hang around after the show, hoping to shake your hand and say hi, kind of thing, which is really cool. It's a big compliment to us. So yeah, touring in the US is great. It's also really fresh for us because not many people know us. We can go out and play all these shows. There's no expectation really. There's no one's looking for anything other than just to check out a new band. So. Let's go all together. Well, a lot of people have referenced 80s bands in association with us, so I think especially in the UK, we've noticed that quite a few of the people who are coming to the shows and obviously listen to our music have been people who are slightly older and have listened to that music first time round, like bands like Echo and the Bunnymen and stuff in the 80s. And then obviously we have a lot of young fans as well, because they weren't around when that music was happening at the time, and they're almost discovering a new kind of music when they come to our shows, or at least that's what we hope. Yeah, we just get a big mix of people, like all ages, just everything. The Death video, we got a whole load of treatments for it, like coming in from different directors, and we saw the one that we chose for the video, and we thought, wow, that's perfect. And we went over to Sweden to film it, even though it looks like it's filmed in the US. It's suburbs of Sweden, a lot of it, and we just did all the band footage in a day, and then we left Andreas, the director, to get on with the rest. And about a week later we saw the final thing. I think what we were going for with that video was, especially with the kids on the skateboard and the kids in general, is like a loss of innocence and also, I don't know, a life from beginning to end. And a lot of it's very metaphorical, and it's just imagery, quite a lot of it. And I think the director was going more for the feel of what he felt the song was about. Like, it's just about growing up and a loss of innocence and then eventually dying. Just a journey through life, I guess. I don't really know. Lots of people draw different conclusions from it, and I think that's the good thing about that video is one person watching it could think. I think people want to categorize every band. I think It's the easiest way for a journalist to write about you in the press or whatever, is to reference you to other bands and compare you directly to other bands, and it's cool. It's a big compliment to us, especially when it's the bands that they're saying at the moment, and we really like that. But as a band, we've all listened to a huge variety of music. In fact, even now we don't have that many bands that we listen to in common. Like Interpol's playing in the background. We listen to them a lot, and when we started the band, we listened to a lot of Secret Machines, the first Secret Machines album, the first Stills album, and then obviously people started comparing us to a lot of 80s bands, so we started listening to more stuff like Echo and the Bunnymen and things like that, a little bit of Joy Division. But I don't know, as I was growing up, I was always a really big fan of Queens of the Stone Age. Like, since I was about 13, 14, they were my favourite band, and they still are one of my favourite bands. I think they're awesome. So. We'd like our music to connect with people, hopefully connect with people worldwide, because we love travelling and we love touring the world. So we'd love to be able to do this for another 10 years' time and hopefully build up a fan base, whether that be huge or relatively small. It doesn't really matter, as long as we can keep doing what we're doing. Yes,